Greetings, scholars. I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but a nasty, nasty head cold has swept through the Tamer house. I've been sick all weekend. I'm actually feeling better today, but now I have 3 sick Tamer tots at home. So, this is the lesson today, coming live, okay, not live recorded, from the Tamer kitchen. All right, we're talking about the respiratory system today. What I want you to do is you can do your homework in class. We're going to play the video. I'm going to have whoever is substituting for the class to stop the video at the end of each slide, and you guys can do your homework right there in class. When you're done, you're done. Okay, so the only homework today is to get the video done. All right, if you don't finish in class, finish it for homework. All right, so talking about the respiratory system. Just like the cardiovascular system, I need you to know and understand the function of the main parts of the system. So we're talking about structure, function, structure, function. What are the parts? What do those parts do? How do those parts work together? Okay. So the whole goal of the respiratory system is to take in oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. Right? Why do I need to do that? Because my cells are respiring. You're made of billions and billions of cells. Those cells need oxygen to burn sugar, to get energy, to do work. And after they do their work, they produce carbon dioxide. We need to get rid of that carbon dioxide. So because our cells need oxygen and need to get rid of carbon dioxide, we need to breathe. Bring good air in and get rid of the waste products. So how do we do that? With a number of organs. All right? The pharynx, pH is a sound. The pharynx is the top of your throat. It's right here. I'll blow this diagram up a little bit later so you can see. It's where your digestive and respiratory systems mix. Both, you need your mouth to swallow and you need your mouth to breathe. The pharynx is the back of your throat here, okay, where your epiglottis is, that covers up your trachea when you swallow. Okay, it's the back of your throat. So the nasal cavity, your mouth, your esophagus, and your trachea all come together. Okay, it's like the crossroads of the pharynx. The larynx is where you think ad-lib. You can be loud. Your larynx is loud. It contains your vocal cords. It's how you produce sound. Okay, so your vocal cords sit right there at the top of the trachea, behind the pharynx. You can even feel it. When you talk, you can feel your throat vibrate. Those are your vocal cords or your larynx. If you have laryngitis, it's an infection of the vocal cords. Trachea. Your trachea is the ringed tube. You can feel the rings on it right here. Okay, it's the pipe that goes from your pharynx and your larynx all the way down to your lungs. This is your trachea. Sometimes it's called the windpipe. Okay, and so that it doesn't collapse in on itself, there's you have rings of cartilage that always keep the trachea open. Okay, sometimes you'll hear people who have a tracheotomy. They need to poke a hole in the trachea to get air in because it's blocked. Your bronchi are the branches of the trachea that go to each lung. Okay, so here's one major branch. Oops. Oh, look, you can see that. One major branch and the other major branch. We'll go back for a second so you can get the writing. So you'll see that the respiratory system is a series of tubes. It goes from one big tube to 2 bronchi to smaller bronchioles, then down to the alveoli. So the bronchioles, where's my mouse? There it is, are just smaller branches that go from the bronchi to the alveoli. So big tube, smaller tubes still, till the alveoli. Now the alveoli are what make the lungs spongy. These tiny little air sacs, okay, that give contact or surface area with the cardiovascular system, the capillaries, so the red blood cells can pick up oxygen and drop off carbon dioxide. So the alveoli is where the gas exchange actually happens. Last but not least, you have your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is the muscle at the bottom of the thoracic cavity, the bottom of your chest, underneath your lungs, When it pulls down, you inhale. When it pushes up, you exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So when the diaphragm pulls down, I inhale. When it pushes up, I exhale. Cool? All right. So here's the diagram. We can pause the video now if you need. If you want, you can ask to go back to the text if you didn't get all the text. And then hit play when you guys are ready to move on to the second slide. All right. So generally, conceptually, how is this respiratory system structured? What's the big idea behind it? Well, the system is designed to maximize surface area. Why? So you can do as much gas exchange as possible. Why? So we can support as much cellular respiration as possible. Now, for those of you in geometry, you're calculating surface area with Miss Keogh. All right? Surface area is the amount of surface on an object. Okay? So the more surface area I have, the more opportunities for gases to go across that border, that surface. Okay, so more surface area is good. I get the most surface area with spheres. Okay, spheres give more surface area than any other shape, and per volume, I should say, greatest surface area to volume ratio. All right, and so my alveoli, these sacs, are covered with capillaries. Why? Well, the capillaries are going to drop off their carbon dioxide and pick up oxygen. Right? So the more surface area I have, the more exchange I can have with the cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular system and the respiratory system work together, hand in hand. Okay? More gas exchange means more oxygen. More oxygen means more energy for your cells. More energy means more work is done and they have a better chance at surviving and reproducing. The whole idea behind evolution. All right, here's my picture, rolling up a little bit. The captions here, the labels aren't super good, but up here we've got our lungs, okay, and inside these lungs, they'll end with bronchioles, which attach to alveoli. The alveoli, look, they look like a bunch of grapes on the grapevine, don't they? Little air-filled sacs, and around each of these air-filled sacs are beds of capillaries. And those capillaries go back into arteries and veins, right, and back to the cardiovascular system. Pause the video here if you need the picture, okay, or you can go back to the text. When you're ready, move on. All right, third and last slide. What happens when things go wrong with the respiratory system? Well, chose three things to kind of show you. Bronchitis, which if I don't take care of my cold, could turn into bronchitis. Right now it's just a head cold. Nasty head cold, but it's a head cold. So bronchitis is when bacteria infect the bronchi tubes in your lungs. Right? So here's a normal bronchi tube, nice and clear, nice and wide, nice and open. Lots of air can get through. When there's an infection, you start secreting mucus to catch those bacteria, and it becomes inflamed, which means this is way narrower than this is. So it's harder to breathe. I can't get as much air in as before. So bronchitis is an infection of your bronchi. Okay. Itis means infection. Bronchi is where the infection is. So bronchitis, infection of your bronchi. Your tubes swell and they produce mucus, and the tubes are narrower. Okay. Asthma is similar, except for the mucus. In asthma, when I have an asthma attack, something triggers that attack. It's almost kind of like an allergic reaction. And when that attack happens, my bronchioles narrow, and they restrict the airflow into the lungs, so they tighten up. I can't get as much air. I'm sucking for air and trying to get as much air in as I can, but I can't because my bronchioles are restricted. The tube gets smaller. Okay. Another respiratory disorder is emphysema. Happens often when people smoke or are in, difficult environments where there's lots of stuff in the air, like firefighters sometimes get emphysema, factory workers in the old days used to get emphysema. My grandfather had emphysema from working in a tire factory. Emphysema is where your alveoli are no longer sponge-like. They're no longer soft and squishy. They harden, and the walls break down in between them so that they can no longer exchange gas as well. It makes it harder to breathe. I'm getting air down into the alveoli, but it's not making it across that membrane into the capillaries. So if you need to see the pictures a little bit bigger, there's emphysema, where those alveoli just break down. They get all black and tarry and can't get air across them nearly as well as it can with the nice pink spongy good ones. And over here, nice wide airway in your bronchi, inflamed and restricted so that the airway gets smaller. Okay? So when you cough, you get this mucus comes out. All right. Well, that's about it. So just a quick review. You need to know what the main parts and what they do. In general, what's the idea behind the respiratory system? Why is it structured like that? And we get the 3 examples of some things that can go wrong with the respiratory system. Right? We're in chapter 23, sections 3 and 4. That'll be your homework for tomorrow. Okay. No, you don't have to do it for tonight. Okay. Your homework for tomorrow. Say, just do the video. All right. Thanks. Wish me luck that I get better and the tater tots get better, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.